Hi and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to make this shell stitch bandana. I'm going to use these 4 colors, a 3.5mm hook, some scissors, a needle, and something to measure with. I'm going to start with a magic circle. And then I'm gonna start by chaining 5. This counts as our first double crochet plus a chain 2. Then I'm gonna add a double crochet. Then I'm gonna chain 3. This is our corner. Then I'm gonna add another double crochet. Chain 2 and add another double crochet. And I'm just gonna pull my yarn through, cut it off, pull it really close, and then I'm also gonna close the circle. I'm gonna start the next round by adding a single crochet into that chain 5. And then I'm also gonna add our first shell into that space. So you're gonna add 7 double crochet into that space. Then I'm gonna add a single crochet into that chain 3 space. And then I'm gonna add another shell of 7 double crochet into the next chain 2 space. And then I'm gonna add a single crochet into that very last double crochet from the last round. I'm gonna cut the yarn off, and then I'm switching back to white now for the next support round. So I'm gonna start with a standing double crochet. So just a slip knot on the hook, and then you're gonna yarn over. And I'm gonna add a double crochet into that very first stitch in that very first single crochet. Then I'm gonna chain 2. And then I'm gonna add another double crochet into that very same stitch. Then I'm gonna chain 5. And then I'm gonna work into that single crochet in that chain 3 space. So I'm gonna add a double crochet, then I'm gonna chain 2, and I'm gonna add another double crochet, then I'm gonna chain 3, and I'm gonna add another double crochet, then I'm gonna chain 2 and add another double crochet into that same single crochet. Then I'm gonna chain 5. And then I'm gonna add another double crochet into that very last single crochet from the last round. I'm gonna chain 2 and add another double crochet into that very same stitch. And then I'm gonna pull my yarn through and cut it off and pull it close. I'm gonna change colors again, and then I'm gonna start by adding a single crochet into that very first double crochet stitch from the last round. And then I'm gonna add 7 double crochet into that chain 2 space. And then I'm gonna count the 4th double crochet, and I'm gonna add a single crochet, work that around that chain 5 into that middle double crochet from the shell stitch 2 rounds ago. And then I'm gonna add another shell of 7 double crochet into the next chain 2 space. Then I'm gonna single crochet into that chain 3 space in the corner. Then I'm gonna add another shell of 7 double crochet into the next chain 2 space. Then I'm gonna again single crochet around that chain 5, and I'm gonna go into that middle double crochet from round 2. And then I'm gonna add another shell into that chain 2 space. So 7 double crochet into that. And I'm gonna add another single crochet into that very last stitch. And I'm gonna cut the yarn off. And we're gonna move on to the next round. I'm using white again here. And I'm gonna start a standing double crochet. So I'm gonna add a double crochet into that very first stitch. Then I'm gonna chain 2, add another double crochet into that very same stitch, and I'm gonna chain 5 again, then we're gonna move on to the next single crochet. We're gonna add a double crochet, a chain 2, and the double crochet into that next single crochet. And I'm gonna chain 5 again, and then we're gonna add another corner into the next single crochet. So we're gonna add a double crochet, a chain 2, another double crochet, a chain 3, double crochet, a chain 2, and another double crochet into that very same single crochet. And then I'm gonna chain 5 again. Then we're gonna add another double crochet into the next single crochet. Then we're gonna chain 2 and add another double crochet into the very same stitch. And then we're gonna chain 5 again. And then we're gonna add a double crochet, a chain 2 and a double crochet into the very last single crochet of the round. Then I'm gonna pull my yarn through. Here we go. Then we're gonna move on to the next shell round. So we're gonna start with a single crochet into that very first double crochet from the last round. And then we're gonna add a shell of 7 double crochet into that chain 2 space. Then we're gonna add a single crochet around that chain 5 into the middle shell stitch from 2 rounds ago. And then we're gonna add another shell stitch of 7 double crochet into the next chain 2 space. We're just going to continue in that manner. So here we are in the corner. You're going to add a shell of 7 double crochet into the chain 2 space. Then you're going to single crochet into the chain 3 space and add another shell of 7 double crochet into the next chain 2 space. And then we're gonna add another single crochet around that chain 5 into the middle shell stitch from round 4. Then we're gonna add another shell of 7 double crochet. After the next shell, you're going to add another single crochet, work that around the chain 5 into the middle shell from round 4. And then we're going to add our last shell into the last chain 2 space. And then we're also going to add a single crochet into that very last stitch from the last round. And this is how it should look thus far. And you're just gonna continue in that manner until you have the size you want. So mine is around 40 centimeters or 17 inches wide, but you can make any size you want. So next you're gonna weave in the ends. So I'm gonna pull 2 of the strands through one of these shell stitches. Like this. And you're gonna do that to all the yarn tails. And then I'm just gonna cut them off. And then we're gonna make a border. So I'm just gonna start with a single crochet, and I'm just gonna put a single crochet into every stitch. So so in all the double crochets as well as in all the single crochets. In the corner you're gonna chain 3, and then you're gonna work into the double crochets from the support round. So you're gonna pull 4 single crochets around every double crochet from the support round. So in my case, those are the white parts there. And you're gonna put 4 single crochets into every one of those white double crochet spaces. So you're gonna skip the shell and work in the double crochets only. Once you're at the end there, you're gonna work 4 single crochets into that very last space, and then you're gonna chain 3 again. And then you're just gonna continue adding single crochets into every stitch. And you're gonna do that all the way around. At the end, you're just gonna pull through your yarn. Then you're gonna invisibly join. You're gonna pull the yarn through that very first stitch. And then you're gonna go back in to the last stitch of the round. Then I'm gonna turn it around. Just gonna go through a stitch there. There we go. And then you're gonna cut these off as well. And then we're gonna add some straps in the corner spaces. I'm just gonna add a slip stitch, and then I'm just gonna chain until you have the length you want. I'd recommend like 30 centimeters or 12 inches. Then at the end, you're just gonna pull really hard, and then you're gonna cut off the yarn. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.